I'm confused kind of why they even bother to show me that scene. Like I said, like I think this game has a couple issues. Yeah, let's switch to this. Just like telling its story in a good way, so it just has to have these like asides where it's like, well, yeah, we can't mysterious secret agent lady, you know, like to keep her character mysterious and secret agent-y, you can't really see her around. Well, to eventually tell her story, you just gotta have that cutaway or have those notes. So they're gonna burst in from the side when I go for this. Nothing there. Thank you. More mind darts. That guy's doing a whole lot of good there. God. I think it's intentional that they're sporadic, but man, is it annoying. There we go. I thought I heard someone coming in behind me, but I think it might have been this guy. Oh, did he really still get the axe off? I am kind of eager for this game to just end, though. It just feels like, I don't know, it's a little dragged out, maybe? Where you at? At this point, like, why am I still, like, facing this dude with a board? Like, I want to go take on so many of the other things they're showing me. Like, I was actually really cool. I thought the energy generators were a cool idea. I wanted more of that, less of this. I think I am just kind of bored of these enemies in particular. Or maybe it's not that I'm bored, it's just they've become such a, not quite a joke, but they're fairly trivial to take out that I don't even try as much anymore. So let me do at least another 5 shots with the rifle. Locker, nope. Anything worth grabbing? Nope, nope. Any treasures? Surprisingly, I have not missed a treasure yet, I don't think, besides that one. Oh, I did miss that one very early on. What if that, I hope that was just like a gold bar and not, you know, like the third, whatever, Eye of Judgment. Because that's gonna suck, like the one time I intentionally do try to, you know, collect all the things and put them together. It's going to be the one time I actually know I missed something at the very beginning. I don't think it's that. I'm pretty sure that was just like a money treasure thing since it was like right at the beginning. I think in most cases, I've been finding all the combinational stuff. Like usually when I go back and like, oh, there's just treasure hidden. It's just like a spindle, which is something I meant to look up. That's, I assume, a gem. But he has the same knife as me. I think that's a Percival. I pulled both triggers. Come on. I pulled both triggers. I did. Although again, like I wish they said like, "Oh, it's coming," because a lot of times I just want to watch the cutscene. Like I'm trying to make sure I understand the game, and then it's like, "Yeah, you didn't watch it well enough." Or I don't know. Maybe there is a thing. Like maybe I think you can skip cutscenes in this game, and I bet if you can't skip them, that means there's probably one in there.
Been a long time, comrade. Krauser. I died in a crash 2 years ago. Is that what they told you? You're the one who kidnapped Ashley. You got John quick, as expected. After all, you and I both know where we come from.
That was... I hit both triggers. So is this just gonna be an extended conversation with dodges and stuff? This might be a little annoying, I'm just gonna say now. Because now I'm gonna have to start it from the top every time. Yeah. I'm gonna try and quickly get some coffee. And if it isn't clear, the inputs usually aren't necessarily based off the action. Like when I'm running from the giant mech Salazar, that mattered. Like you hold, press left to go left, press right to go right. But in most cases, like when it's a dodge, they'll swap up what the buttons are. That can either be right trigger and left trigger or X and A. And if you hit the wrong one, it instantly fails. And I think that's one thing that's different is I can't like correct if I pulse. So like here, it's probably X and A, but yeah, it could also be the regular one again.
What do you want? The sample Sadler developed, that's all.
Damn it, I went to itch my leg. Damn it. But yeah, like, I don't like that they're trying to, like, give very important plot in this fight, and instead I'm not focusing on that, I'm focusing on, like, my controller and having all these other inputs ready just in case it happens. Like, I feel like I can't enjoy this. Or now they're explaining how everything works, and it's like, I'm not really getting it because I'm trigger happy. Plus, I don't like the fact that it has to do that weird load mid-menu every time because it doesn't know if you fail yet or not. Like that. Yeah, no, it's just annoying. Or I don't know, I might have spoken too soon. Maybe for this fight, it literally is you just memorize the combinations and when they come.
I died in a crash 2 years ago. Is that what they told you? You're the one who kidnapped Ashley. You got John quick, as expected. After all, you and I both know where we come from. What do you want? The sample Sadler developed, that's all. Leave Ashley out of this! Oh, I needed her to buy Sadler's trust in me. Like you, I'm American. You got her involved just for that?
I'll talk more when this is over, obviously. I can't really... If I get too distracted, I'm gonna fail this again.
All for Umbrella's sake.
It is a problem.
Umbrella. Almost let it slip. Enough talk. Die, comrade.
Oh, it's changing it.
Ada! Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
Looks like we have the upper hand here.
You may be able to prolong your life, but it's not like you can escape your inevitable death, is it?
So there's just like so much context I'm missing there. Why can he jump up like 2 stories? Or like, did that cutscene I saw with them happen way before this? Was it a flashback or?
Maybe some other time.
Enjoy the reunion.
I'm starting to think, I think Sadler really is just like a cult. And then the sample and those guys are a whole different thing.
I want my special guests on the island feeling unattended.
Guess I'm supposed to thank you, right?
Ah, I have an idea. Since you're here, why don't I introduce you to it? It should keep you busy.
Can't remember the name, huh? A senior moment, perhaps.
Oh, enjoy the fun.
Someone out there on the writing team had a ton of fun with Leon's lines. Yeah, I just have all these questions. Like, Like, there's obviously a ton of history with that guy that I just am not getting because I have not played Resident Evil 1 through 3. And aren't there, like, spin-offs, too? Like, I remember that being a thing where it's like, they had 2 different versions of 2, or there's 2 different campaigns where you play as different characters that sometimes interacted. But then they got their own story. I don't think that's in 4. But like I thought there was like, because isn't there like Resident Evil 2, then I think there's a Resident Evil like 0? God, it's confusing. I need to use up those mines, I think. Gotta combine some stuff. But yeah, I did not care for that like storytelling element that made it really hard to actually listen to a lot of exposition because I'm stuck trying not to get knifed. I think maybe it was explicit. Okay. This is a thing. Maybe it was just like something. God damn it. I went too far forward. Maybe it was just a sequence you just gotta memorize. I think that's it. I think really it's just meant to be a story moment, and they have you just memorize it because that way, like they do want you to listen to what's going on. And if you memorize it, that means like eventually you're gonna get through it. And you could make like the, I don't know, almost conspiracy level that the reason they kind of make you fail over and over is just so that you actually listen to the story. Not sure. I think I need to go like right now. Okay. Such a weird hallway. Do I shoot him? Oh, I can't check that, can I? No. So this is gonna kill me. I have to do it all over again, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can see why they wanted to make Resident Evil into a movie, which I've not seen any of the Resident Evil movies. It's locked. Switch on the right. Okay. Part of me is like, do I really have to go back all the way? That was weird. Those lasers had like almost like a weird sense of personality to them. Am I taking the chair? That prompt just like sums up my experience right now. Like, what? Why? There's no time for resting. Was that so I would see that? I'm just confused. Like, was that meant to be like a joke? Was that what that was getting at? Was made it one of a kind. So I assume. Wait, can I combine it with these? Maybe they hang down? No, okay. What? Okay. Okay. I get it, I think. I'm gonna have to kind of just go to the door behind it. It's like a. Oh. I was gonna think it's gonna be all this cool thing where you like, I don't know, hit some switches, then you sit in the chair, and then the chair like goes and the whole wall turns, and that's how you get to the other side. It's just a door. Like, I thought for sure that was gonna be it, or like he's gonna descend into a floor, and then that's why you could sit in the chair. And that little cute animation was just tell you got it wrong. That would have been way cooler. Nope, just a door behind it. I got the headdress though. I really need to get better about checking the map every time it transitions to see if there are treasures. Got that. I have made surprisingly little progress towards this goal, though. I probably didn't want to spend that bullet either on that headdress. I probably should have just used something else. I imagine that merchant is just making a killing, because I'm just finding all kinds of great stuff for him. I wish they still have yet to name him. Can I go in there? Oh, I can't. Okay. So let me hang out with you a little bit. Luis's Memo 4. I think he's Luis's grandfather. That's my take. I'll report my findings about the Plagueis here. The Plagueis have 3 distinct characteristics. 1. As mentioned previously, the Plagueis have the ability to manipulate the behavioral patterns of their host. The Plagueis are social organisms. By this I mean that instead of living individually, they live in perfect social harmony. It is believed that they have a collective intelligence. This type of behavior can be seen among insects such as bees and ants. However, this kind of social behavior is rarely seen among parasitic organisms. Perhaps it was a learned behavior by the Plagueis. I'm finding out if this has any relationship with their first characteristic. 3. The Plagueis have I can't fucking talk when my mouth is dry. The Plagueis have exceptional adaptation skills. They're able to live off many kinds of organisms by creating a symbiotic environment quickly. This ability, when combined with their social behaviors, allows them to interact intelligently between hosts regardless of the host organism. I'm ashamed to admit that my pure fascination with the Plagueis, in hindsight, has blinded me to the true research objectives of the Los Illuminados. Even with the knowledge that Sadler was going to abuse the results of these experiments, I could not pull myself away from my research. As a result, I am just as responsible for this whole mess as he is. I see now that I was wrong, but can I stop their evil plans alone? So, I think that was just essentially like backfill to help you understand more with like Lewis and more how they work. Because again, I feel like they haven't really talked about that at all, really. Is that it? But when they say it has like a collective mind, that sounds like a weird way to put that. Like, they work collectively, or are they literally like a hive mind? I need to save. And then I still don't understand, how do they communicate? It says they're able to communicate like just no matter what host they have. And I assume that makes sense, so it's not like, oh, they have to be a human to talk. They have some other way of doing it. It's just weird. So let's see. This is weird. I assume there's a boss fight coming up, unless that one with that guy counted. I should remember his name, but because they're all secretive about who they are, I only hear his name like once or twice, and that's not enough for me to actually remember it. Whereas like, okay, I can kind of remember Ada at this point. So did they just find this giant chasm in this island? Like, I'm kind of confused on like the context of this stuff. Or like, why would they build all this?
Ashley.
Well, maybe if your thing wasn't literally a giant red light and beeping, it wouldn't have been found. So that's a yes on the boss fight. Those look like centaurs from Fallout 3. I think that's what they're called, right? I may have made a mistake. How do I just don't even know. Like, the camera's like was acting all weird and stuff for a while. You want open? Is that it? Do I just have to like wait for it to attack me and then I can proc? Okay, shotgun, I can swap to that. I was kind of just like thrust into this boss fight. I don't really have anything to go off of. Do I shoot it? Okay. What does this gain me? God damn. Yeah, like... This isn't necessarily a bad boss fight. I just hate it when you're like, kind of like, I'm doing the things. This one's not operational. God damn. You know, you don't necessarily know, like, why you're doing them. Like, what I would want it to be is like, oh, I'm making this operational plan. Like, I want to do this and then this. And this is why I'm doing these things. And I'm figuring out this boss fight. Instead, I'm hitting all the things that are glowing. And that's going to do something. Thank you. What possible design would use this where you have like, okay, is that not that's, there we go. Where you have to hit, yeah. Why would you have to hit 2 switches in an emergency? Or like, why was it dropping? I just don't get it. Come on. Was there ammo? Okay, it's TMP. That's not... It's always the X and A that gets me. I can usually do both triggers because my hand's already on them. What even is this enemy? Like, when he broke in, I actually thought he might be a saddler. I was like, that's a weird way to introduce that. I'm pretty sure that was this here. At least that switch is easy. It's like clunky. Like, I feel like... Yeah. Okay. Is he gonna like a second one in or something? What's with like the green stripe? Am I supposed to fight it now? Can you just like stop? What am I missing? God damn. So at least you can stagger. Maybe I am supposed to fight this now. Or, oh, have I been running through it? Yeah. Thought I might be stuck in a loop there where he just kept attacking me. It'd be nice if you could actually just like get him locked in the container and then let it drop. Come on. I don't know if I finished this thought, but it almost feels like what they wanted that boss fight with that one dude to be more of a fight, and they felt like they didn't get the boss fight in for the chapter, so now they're doing this instead. The thing is, it doesn't feel like a fight. I mean, I call it a boss fight, but maybe it's really not. Okay. So that just felt out of place. Like, why was that there? Like, I feel like the game needs to like wrap up. Oh yes, thank you. Give me this. Like, it's all like, oh, Sadler and Ashley, and then all this stuff back, and then they just, I feel like I almost like waste my time with stuff like that, honestly.